Another day, another story. Israeli military launches bombardment on parts of Gaza Strip. The Israeli Defense Forces said fighter jets struck 3 military headquarters belonging to terrorist organizations in the Gaza Strip on Sunday afternoon local time. Military headquarters belonging to the Hamas terrorist organization used for directing terror were struck, as well as military headquarters belonging to the Islamic Jihad terrorist organization that were used during recent operations, and additional military headquarters belonging to the Islamic Jihad terrorist organization that were used by the terrorist organization's rocket forces, the IDF said. Live video feeds Sunday showed multiple explosions and large plumes of smoke rising from northern and eastern parts of Gaza, including in the area of Beit Hanun. Israel has been pounding Gaza with airstrikes, which have killed more than 300 people, according to the Palestinian Health Ministry. Israeli Security Cabinet officially declares state of war following Hamas attacks. Israel's Security Cabinet has officially declared a state of war, according to the government press office Sunday. The war was forced on the State of Israel in a murderous terrorist assault from the Gaza Strip on Saturday, the government statement said. Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has vowed the country will take mighty vengeance for the attack by Palestinian militants. The war declaration was taken in accordance with Article 40 of Israel's Basic Law, the press office said. Israel does not have a written constitution, but its 13 basic laws serve a similar function. The top Israeli Defense Forces official in charge of activities in the Palestinian territory said after the attacks that Hamas has opened the gates of hell. Israel has been pounding Gaza with airstrikes, which have killed more than 300 people. Israel's death toll likely to surpass 500 in Hamas attacks. The number of people dead in Israel following the surprise attacks by Hamas on Saturday is likely to be over 500. Zaka, an emergency rescue service that specializes in handling the bodies of the dead, told CNN Sunday that it had confirmed around 500 people are dead. That number does not include people who died or were declared dead in hospitals, and Zaka has not been able to reach every location where people are thought to have been killed, meaning the total number is almost certainly more than 500. More than 20 Israeli communities near Gaza are being evacuated. More than 20 communities adjacent to the Gaza security fence are being evacuated, the Israeli military said. Civilians living in these areas are being asked to leave their homes because of the ongoing attacks by Hamas and in anticipation of the Israeli response inside the enclave. An Israel Defense Forces spokesman that severe strikes inside Gaza would be forthcoming. The Israeli government and military were, as of Sunday morning, still in the process of determining what the goals would be for its likely military response. It's been more than 24 hours since Hamas launched a surprise attack on Israel. Here's what has happened so far. Saturday marked one of the darkest days in Israel's 75-year history, as the Islamist militant group Hamas launched a deadly surprise blitz, targeting civilians and soldiers alike. Here's what you need to know. The all-out assault, the attack began early Saturday, with Hamas firing rockets into Israel, sending militants across the border by land, air, and sea, and calling on civilians to take up arms against Israel. Assailants were still wreaking havoc on Israeli soil more than a day later. As of Sunday afternoon, thousands had been wounded, at least 350 people had been killed in Israel, and dozens of civilians and soldiers had been taken hostage. At the scene, attacks, including one that sent concertgoers running for their lives, were caught on camera. One video showed an Israeli woman being kidnapped, hoisted onto the back of a motorcycle, and driven away as her boyfriend was also abducted. Another showed the motionless body of a German-Israeli woman, identified by her dreadlocks and tattoos, being paraded through Gaza as onlookers shouted Allahu Akbar. One person was seen spitting on her head as the car drove off. The response: Israel has responded with airstrikes targeting Hamas. Inside Gaza, at least 313 Palestinians have died and more than 1,900 were wounded, the Palestinian Health Ministry said. The war to come, Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu vowed that the country will take mighty vengeance. The top IDF official in charge of activities in the Palestinian territory said Hamas had opened the gates of hell. What the exact response looks like remains to be seen, but a military spokesman's comments hinted that Israel may try to take full control of Gaza for the first time since it unilaterally withdrew from the territory in 2005. The intelligence gap, whether by design or by chance, Saturday's attack began 50 years and one day after another incursion Israel failed to predict, what's known in Israel as the Yom Kippur War. Israel has since spent billions of dollars to create one of the world's most formidable security services, and yet it is today still grappling with the kind of infiltration of military bases, towns, and kibbutzim that marked its 1948 War of Independence.